I'd like to call to order the regular tribal council meeting. At this time, Councilman King, would you give us a word of prayer, please? Please stand for me in prayer, please. Father God, God Almighty, we do thank you for this day here today. We're thankful for the ability to serve you, dear Lord. And we're just thankful for fellowship and the opportunity to serve our Cherokee people. Dear Lord, I ask that you'd reach down with your guiding and comforting hand and show us that way. Dear Lord, I ask that we always remember that we're all children of yours and that we need to work together for a common purpose. Dear Heavenly Father, we're thoughtful at this time always of our military personnel overseas, and we'd ask that you'd provide them safe conduct and give a sense of reassurance to their families. Dear Heavenly Father, finally just thankful for this giving rain, life-giving rain, and it may be into this winter here. We're going to ask for that in your mercy and forgiveness. All these things we ask in your Son's name, Jesus. Amen. Amen. Before the Secretary sounds the roll, I'd just simply like to make note that I'm sitting in this chair tonight because Councilmember Meredith Fraley had recent knee surgery, and so that's what prevents her from being here this evening. So with that being said, we'll sound the roll for her.
Bill Anglin.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Audra Connor. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Meredith Fraley. Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin.
Here.
Bill Johnson.
Here.
Taylor Keene. John Keener.
Here.
Jackie Bob Martin. Linda O'Leary. Malvina Shophouse. David Thornton.
Present.
Carol Cowan Watts. Phyllis Yargy.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, the Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the January 22nd special session.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any corrections, deletions, questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes stand approved. We're down to the State of the Nation. Chief Smith or Deputy Chief Grayson, are you going to? All right.
Yes, sir, I am.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Chief is in Washington, D.C. tonight, taking care of the work of the Cherokees and the other leaders of the 5 tribes. So he sends his regrets that he can't be here, so you have to put up with me tonight. Before I give you an update on the state of the nation, let us take a moment to reflect on the passing of some of our friends, neighbors, and citizens. Wanda Black Fox, the wife of Butch Black Fox, and Charlie Scott. Let's take a moment, please. Thank you. As we do each month, tonight we honor Cherokee Nation citizens who currently serve or who have served in the military. Please bear with us tonight as we take a little extra time to honor 3 veterans, all from the Locust family. They live in Evening Shade, a community near Vian. First is Lewis Locust. Would you come down, please? Thank you. Stand right there, sir. Lewis was inducted into the U.S. Army in 1965. He received his basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. From there, he was sent to Fort McClellan, Alabama for chemical school. After Fort McClellan, he spent 1 year at Edwards Arsenal in Maryland. And transferred to the Rocky Mountain Arsenal in Denver, Colorado. Lewis met his wife. Please be seated, please, right now. Lewis met his wife of 40 years while at Rocky Mountain Arsenal. He is honorably discharged in 1967, but re-enlisted in 1968 and went back to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and then to Fort Hood, Texas. While at Fort Hood, he was part of the honor guard for burial of returning soldiers from Vietnam. Lewis was sent to Vietnam in July of 1968. He heard from his family that his brother Vincent was at Dong Ha, so he went to surprise him with a visit. Lewis returned to the United States in July 1969 and was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, where he was a chemical sergeant for the supply company, the Big Red One. He was honorably discharged in 1971. Lewis received the National Defense Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Bronze Service Star, Vietnam Campaign Medal, and the Good Conduct Medal. Lewis is now retired and lives near Evening Shade. I will present him with the medal now. Lewis, I'm not going to pin this on you. I'm going to give it to you there. That. This is a certificate for a brick. Mm-hmm. And this is your Cherokee Warriors Award. Would you please turn around, sir? You do. So, put this up here so we can see. Oh, yeah. Right here. And let's get right here. We're going to bring down the rest of the family. Okay. Right, anywhere right there will be fine. Next is Vincent Lopez. Would you come down, please? Vincent's not here?
You didn't make it, I don't guess.
Okay, well, I'll give you a little intro on Vincent. Vincent was a United States Marine. He was inducted to the Marines in 1968. His first few months with the Marines were spent at Camp Pendleton Recruit Depot in California. His duty took him to Okinawa, Japan, and then to Dong Ha, South Vietnam. He spent 13 months there. He came back to the United States in 1970 to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and received his honorable discharge in 1970. And we will save this for him. The third person is Leslie Locust. Would you come down, please? Stand right here, sir.
All right.
Leslie was enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1966. He was sent to technical school in Wichita Falls, Texas. While there, he trained to be an airplane mechanic. On Christmas Eve of 1966, he left for Cam Ranh Bay, Vietnam, and he was assigned to a special operations unit. After returning to the United States, Leslie was next assigned to Travis Air Force Base in California. After Travis Air Force Base, he was transferred to Hickam Field in Hawaii. In 1969, Leslie enlisted for another 4 years. He was sent back to Cam Ranh Bay, Vietnam for 13 months. And after that, he was sent to Taiwan. After tour duty in Taiwan, he was sent to Little Rock Air Force Base in Arkansas. After a year, Leslie again was sent to Vietnam. As part of the war effort, he stayed there until he received his honorable discharge in 1973. After leaving the service in 1973, Leslie began working for the U.S. Corps of Engineers. And while working full-time, he received his Associate's Art degree from Connors, and then a Bachelor of Arts degree in Industrial Technology, and a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science from NSU in Tahlequah. In 1976, Leslie joined the Oklahoma Army National Guard, which is part of the 45th Infantry Division, known as the Thunderbird Division. He stayed in the Army National Guard for 16 years and retired in 1990. Altogether, Leslie has 23 years in federal service. And although Leslie has received many awards, he is most proud of his service to his country. And tonight, Leslie requests that for everyone to remember the Sequoia alumni who didn't make it back from Vietnam. So we will take a little moment of silence for them, please.
Amen.
Thank you. Leslie is retired and lives in Fort Gibson with his wife, Sammy. Now, Leslie.
Okay.
How many tours of Vietnam did you?
3 times. Yellow.
Thank you. These are warriors.
Okay. There you go.
get a picture over here together. I will hold Vincent's award for him. Who's the oldest?
Ian.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
I'd just like to say that I went out here at Sequoia for 5 years, and there's a lot of people that had a lot to do with what I've done later on in my life, looking back. We had a board's advisor out there, named Mr. James A. Schultz. I don't know whether any of y'all knew him or knew of him or not, but he had a big impact on my life. He was disappearing from the old school. He didn't put up a lot of what's going on nowadays. And I guess as a result of that, I got into basic training. It was easy. After being out here, man, it's a walk in the park, you know what I mean. But anyway, I think your daddy was out there. He was a dormitory attendant, Mr. Joe Grayson. He told me about a lot about his services and everything. And I guess in the end, when it was all said and done, it's either get drafted and go to the Army or join up and go to the Air Force, so you can see I went to the Air Force. I thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Lewis, would you like to say something, Lewis?
No. Thank everybody.
Well, thank you, sir. And next we have some program updates. The Cherokee Nation's Environmental Department has been chosen by the Environmental Protection Agency to receive the 2005 Clean Air Excellence Award. The award ceremony will take place May the 9th in Washington, D.C. And I have a little letter here about what they have done. As the lead agency and Intertribal Environmental Council, the Cherokee Nation has been a forerunner in protecting health, natural resources, and the environment for the tribal community. The Cherokee Nation offers technical assistance to 42 tribes comprising the ITEC primarily. They oversee 4 stationary air monitoring stations and a mobile air monitoring station. This system comprises the largest tribal air monitoring system in the United States and continues to grow and evolve. The leadership of the Cherokee Nation has provided a strong model for improving ambient air quality applicable to tribal communities across the nation. And now, as I call your name, would you come down, please? Ryan Collison, Ken Curtis, April Hathcote, Jackie Adam, Jeremy Freese, Danielle Kesey, Nancy John, and Janine Hale. I will be getting it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I have some announcements. The Cherokee Nation recently held elections for Cherokee Nation Youth Tribal Council. These are the future leaders of the Cherokee Nation, and they should be commended for their hard work and dedication to our Cherokee Nation. If there are any youth council members here tonight, would you please stand and state your name?
My name is John Brooks. I'm the president of this year of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Youth Council. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Wilkins. I am currently representing District 3. Hi, my name is Danielle Culp, and I'm from District 7, and I am currently serving as the secretary.
Hi, my name is Rebel Richardson. I'm from District 8, and I'm currently reporting.
Thank you. Monday, February the 19th, Cherokee Nation offices are closed for President's Day. There will be a youth programs retreat in February 22nd and 21st at Camp Egan. Saturday is the polar bear plunge. Have any of you ever watched the polar bear plunge? It will take place at Arrowhead Resort on Highway 10, and the plunge is at 11 o'clock into the Illinois River, and it is done to benefit Special Olympics. And our marshals have participated in this every year. And you might want to see our marshals. If you see them, you might want to thank them for this because they raise quite a bit of money for the Special Olympics. The Cherokee Nation Food Distribution Program will be available to qualified applicants on Thursday, February 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. at the Claremore Exposition Center, and on Friday, February 23rd from 12:30 to 3 o'clock at the No Water Primary Health Care Clinic. And this is a little reminder to remind you that the 14th is Valentine's Day. So don't forget your wife or your friends. Thank you. Thank you very much.
This time we'll move on to actions of unfinished business, and we have one, Mr. Baker.
Yes, we have one. It was a vetoed act from the last session. It is a budget mobbed Legislative Act 0407. It amounts to $14,896.87. There's many things for the community, and in this budget, probably the thing that is causing the most grief is the balance of the bonuses to the employees. I would move to override the veto. Put that in form of a motion.
Second.
There is a motion to override, and there is a second. Are there any questions, Mr. Baker? Seeing no questions, discussion, debate. Floor is open for debate. Yes, Ms. Cowan. Watts, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I guess I have to say again, I just really am concerned about how we're handling this issue, and I appreciate all that our travel employees do, but after I did the calculations, we have given Cherokee people's money something like an additional $5.3 million in additional salaries and things to tribal employees, and it's not that they don't deserve it, but we did this analysis several years ago, or not several, like 3 years ago, that if we continued on the same rate of salary increases, we would consume almost all of our services for the Cherokee people in salaries and overhead. So I have fiscal responsibility to the Cherokee people. And yes, that includes hundreds of Cherokee citizens that are employees. But we have to balance those services and the needs of the Cherokee people, as well as the package, the employment package that we provide to Cherokee employees, Cherokee Nation employees here. And unfortunately, not everybody's going to win. And I don't see, we have fulfilled our commitment of the $1,000 bonus. I've consulted with outside human resource folks who have told me, I asked in detail of Ms. Callie Ketcher, again, what went into the taxes and the overhead that were taken out of those checks, just to make sure one more time that I didn't miss an opportunity for the staff. And I don't see that we did anything out of the ordinary. We did what was required for government accounting principles, for the IRS, for what we had to do. And unfortunately, for some folks, if you've been really doing a great job at your work, you missed out on a bigger opportunity, because when Chief Smith proposed this one-time merit increase, those that are doing their job would have gotten more than the $1,000 each, because it was supposed to be merit-based and not across the board as amended by one of the council folks. So there had been more opportunity for some under the proposal by the chief. But unfortunately, it's become a political football during campaign season, and we're where we're at. But when I have to balance my fiscal responsibility for the tribe as a whole I can't see adding additional dollars when we're already over $5 million for additional compensation this year of some of it unplanned compensation, a significant portion. We really have to weigh our decisions because I know how it is. When I start getting adjusted to an income, that means I start expecting that income. And that there's a lot of problems with that. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Ms. Shelby?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know this is a very emotional, passionate issue, talking about our employees and what's been called the second bonus, when indeed I don't think the intent of the council was that it be considered a second bonus. I think someone took liberty with calling it a second bonus, and I think that if you would go back again and listen to the discussion and debate that the council had, the intent, although this was the chief's initiative to put $2.1 million into bonuses based on merit. The council has also an opportunity to say how we would like to designate the money to be spent or appropriate the money to be spent. I would just like to point out a couple of things. For me, this is not a political, I have no political motive asking for a bonus for an employee. I think that this is the first time and the only time that our employees have been given a bonus. I did listen to some of the debate and discussion. I wasn't at the last E&F meeting when this was discussed again. But I did hear that some employees may be more entitled to bonuses rather than our regular full-time employees. And I'd just like to point out that there are a lot of events that happen here at the Cherokee Nation that could not happen without our employees. Our employees they work. The Cherokee Holiday, we would not have the events for Cherokee Holiday if our employees weren't there working. That's pre-planning, conducting the event during the holiday, going to meetings monthly, all year long, so that we as tribal members, tribal citizens can come to the holiday and enjoy those events. They do work weekends, they do work holidays, they do work after hours. I heard that CNE employees were more entitled to a bonus because they work holidays, they work weekends, they work after hours. And as an employee, I was an employee before I sat on this council, and I saw many people come into that door on the weekend and work, not because they were mandated to. It's because they enjoy working and doing the best job that they can for the citizens. The employees themselves are a service to citizens. If it was not for the employees, the services could not be delivered into the hands of those citizens. And I think that that's just long overlooked, and it's due time that they got a one-time bonus, and I don't think it's going to create any expectation, especially after listening to the debate and the discussion that we've had on this issue about this bonus. I think that for myself, I'm tired of being accused of holding the budget and services hostage. This council approved this budget mod. We're not the ones who are holding this hostage. We approved it as a majority, and we're not the ones who are vetoing it. So, for myself, I don't see how we can stand accused of holding the budget hostage. I don't think that any tribal council person drafted the letter and included it in those checks that because of the tribal council, you got this bonus. I think someone else might have done that, saying that thank you for your work, and your two individuals recognize that you worked hard this year, and because of that you're getting this bonus. I don't think that the council did that. So I appreciate the chiefs being concerned that it might be being used as political, for political gain, but I don't see that this council gained anything by that. The other thing is that a lot of our employees support elderly parents. They help buy medicine. They support nieces, nephews, cousins, brothers, sisters. They support more than one family sometimes on their income because you know what? That's the Cherokee way. That's what Gaduki is about. That we're not just simply working together, but working so that no one does without and has the quality of life so that we can all go to sleep at night and know that our relatives in our family, whether they're family and relatives by blood or not, are taken care of, and that we're not doing, we don't have a whole lot more than they do. And I just don't see how this one-time thing and adding an additional 300 or whatever it was to make it make the base amount be $1,000 is going to hurt the tribe, and that it's withholding it from Cherokee families because, you know, our employees, they're Cherokees first, their employees second. When they cease to be employed with the Cherokee Nation, they will still be Cherokees. They will still live in Cherokee communities. They will still be a part of Cherokee families. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Thank you. Mr. King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't think I could have said it any better than Councilor Yargi. I just did want to add on, the debate over this issue in subcommittee was probably the most heartfelt and emotional that I've seen in my short time on this council. But I think what I felt so much out of it was, we're arguing about how we're trying to help Cherokees. And I hope that goal is to help Cherokee people. Somebody very wise that I respect in my life told me, when I sit in this chair, it's real easy. You ask yourself, does it help Cherokees or does it not? And I grew up around Tahlequah, been around the Cherokee Nation all my life, and I don't think you can ever accuse Cherokee Nation employees of being overpaid. And all the time I see good people from here, they want to go work for the business instrumentalities. And I understand economics. I know the condition that people live in here in Cherokee Nation. Most often it's check to check. And if there's anything that we can do in administrating these budgets, and allocating funds, if we can help those people, and to me this was a good solid way that we could put a dent in these families' lives. But the other thing I think we talked about was, you're supposed to help one another and be good to one another, and that's why I hope we can keep this a part of this budget mod and override the veto. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Welcome. Mr. Bill Baker.
Yes, we have talked about this and talked about it, and lots of facts and figures and all have been thrown out. But some truths are, in 2005, we carried over $25 million that was to go to services to the people of the Cherokee Nation. In 2006, over $32 million. These are dollars that come back that should have gone to services and didn't. True, the chief said that he had figured in a $2.1 million for employee bonuses. An additional, the budget had 1.2 for the bonus plan that he called merit pay. And he asked for 2.1 million additional to that bonus pool, which is given out, as one counselor put, to the hardest working Cherokees, the ones that are being rewarded for service above and beyond the call of duty. Well, we've looked at those numbers of how those people were being rewarded, and the way it worked is some people were getting 15% and some people were getting nothing. And unfortunately, it was the people at the bottom rung that were getting nothing, so that people further up could get bigger bonuses. And so, some people were getting $10,000, $15,000, and our janitors and what I consider the hardest working Cherokees we have were getting zero. We said that 4 years ago or 6 years ago that we went through all the salaries of the Cherokee Nation and brought them up to what the state average was, or what the state government did. Well, the state government has given 3 raises since that time, and we were just barely with them 6 years ago. And now last year they gave every employee a $3,000 a year raise, and we didn't do that. So we felt that, okay, we've got $2.1 million that the chief has said is surplus that we can give to our employees, and instead of letting it be given out in the merit pool, we said, let's take $2.1 million, we've got 2,100 employees, and let's give them basically $1,000 apiece, and we knew federal taxes would come out and state taxes. What we did not believe was that they would take $860,000 off the top for indirect costs, which in this case I think is writing the checks, and for for sick leave and comp time and those types of things. We didn't give any employee an extra day of vacation out of this $800,000. We didn't pay an extra insurance premium out of this $800,000. We didn't give them anything out of the $800,000. Now there can be arguments that we have to treat every program fairly. There can be arguments that we could have done a pass-through. When the C&E doesn't have to, when they give their bonuses out, they don't have to worry about the indirect cost pool. And we truly believed that it was going to get to the people. Well, it didn't. So we came up with an extra amount, knowing that they were going to take indirect and fringe pool off of it, to go ahead and get the balance of what we believe these employees should have and deserved. And we constantly, 10 counselors say yes, let's do it. A majority of the council says yes. Takes 12 to override a veto. And the chief has consistently vetoed this measure. I wish we could get behind, or get it behind us. I wish we could get it out to our employees. I think they deserve it. I think they need it. When we started this process, gasoline was $3 a gallon. And we were having employees struggling to get to work that hadn't received a raise in years. And, about our employees, thousands of hours were donated by our employees during this ice storm. I've talked to some of the departments, and their people were out with chainsaws. They were out, and none of the departments have money for overtime. They're not being, they were doing it on their own. They were getting food to our elders in the deep woods and cutting them out, and it's just part of being a proud Cherokee Nation employee. And they do it because it's the right thing to do. And folks, I believe this is the right thing to do for this council to belly up, and the money's there. It's not going to be a guaranteed for next year. It's not going to take us out into the 21st century where we have no services to our people. We've got money to do a lot more services to our people. I think Friday night Chuck pointed out that how blessed we are in the Cherokee Nation to be able to add $2.5 million to the fund for the relief from the ice storm to our people. We're blessed, but we owe it to our employees. And I wish one that has voted against this time after time after time would see it in their heart to do the right thing and override this veto. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, issue for debate? Okay, the motion on the, Mr. Thornton.
Thank you.
Let me interject something here, and I know there are strong feelings running throughout this council about this, but we have had a lot of debate so far, a lot of comments, and we have one person has debated against, and we have three that have debated for. We need to reach a point in time when we put this to a vote. Anyway, Mr. Thornton, go ahead.
Does that mean you want to call for a
No,
vote?
not at all. I don't want to stifle debate if it's
Okay.
debate.
I don't think I could add very much to what's been said, but we approved that bonus to be $1,000. No one's ever had a bonus here since I've been here at the Nation. They've always gotten merit raises. They've always got, anywhere from 0 to 10, 15%. And what I'm saying, people, is these people out here work hard, just like you've heard, and they put extra hours in. And sometimes that little bonus that they get may change them, and they may start doing a little bit better job. And just to give them one-time bonus, I don't see any problem in it. As far as a merit increase, we've went over that there's funding in there for merit increases. We've got very intelligent people out there that's working, and as I go by and talk to them, and that's one of the things they ask me, when we going to get that bonus, the rest of it, So they're out there, they know about it. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, your word's your bond. And when I give my word that they'd get $1,000, that's what I'm going to stick with. And that's the way I feel about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
I just have one comment, brief comment. We've received some propaganda letters about how this bonus is going to affect the elderly. Why don't we give this money to the elderly? I want the public to make no mistake. This money does not infringe on the elderly or the disabled or our eyeglass program. This money is another entity that is only providing what should have been done probably a long time ago in providing some assistance and a bonus and to our good and enduring workers here at the Nation. And I just want to say that is not infringing on any of the other programs and services that we have to offer. Thank you.
And members of the council, the motion before us is to override the chief's veto of an act amending Legislative Act 2606, authorizing the comprehensive budget for the fiscal year 2007, Mod 3, and declaring an emergency. That being said, we'll have a roll call vote. Yes will be to override, no would be to sustain.
Bill Johnson,
No.
Taylor King,
Yes.
John Keener,
Yes.
Jack Bob Martin,
No.
Linda O'Leary,
Yes.
Melvina Shophouse,
Yes.
David Thornton,
Yes.
Cherokee Watts,
No.
Phyllis Yargy,
Yes.
Bill Anglin,
No.
Bill John Baker,
Yes.
Jack Baker,
No.
Audra Connor,
Yes.
Joe Crittenden,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley, Don Garvin,
No.
Chuck Hoskins.
Yes.
Yay. 6 nay.
Vote to override is 10 yes, 6 no. The veto is sustained. Moving on to committee reports, Tribal Council has... Yes. Yes, Phyllis.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda. You have a resolution before you, and I would like to ask that this be placed on the agenda at the item number 20.
Second.
We have a motion to amend the agenda to add item 20, and we do have a second. Is there any questions, debate? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposed, the agenda will stand amended to include item 20. Now, moving to Housing Authority, David Sutherland, or Representative of Housing Authority. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm here for David. He is in Washington, D.C. with National American Indian Housing Council, their legislative conference. So I came to give the report this evening. Our February board meeting is scheduled for the 20th at 5:30 in our Allen Hogner Conference Room on Hensley Drive. The board is going to be considering 3 policy revisions. One of those pertains to our illegal drug and violent criminal activity policy. Another item they will be discussing is raising the amount of time a family can receive rental assistance. Currently, a family can receive their rental assistance for a maximum of 24 months unless the head of household is in college, going to school, or they are elderly. The board will also consider prorating the payback of mortgage assistance if the home is sold before the 10-year useful life period is expired. If someone accepts mortgage assistance, we currently require full payback if the house is sold within the first 10 years. And we are recommending a pro rata method to the board for their recommendation on this. We feel there is more that is more equitable to our families and our tribal members. Right now, we currently have 169 employees. Of those, 97% are Native Americans. And that's all I have for this evening. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer those.
Yes,
sir.
Mary, I'd like to know if you all know anything about the status of the FEMA trailers.
I haven't heard anything about those. I haven't heard anything. Have you heard? Okay.
Did you verify whether they have termites or not? Were they entered with Cherokee Nation?
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard that rumor.
Okay, I've heard that too, that they're getting eaten out by termites, but I'll find out. I'll see what I can find out.
Mary, if you'll permit just a moment, I think we have someone to make. You want to step down to the microphone, please? State your name for the record, please.
John Paris, Assistant Attorney General. I happened to be at a housing meeting last week or two on another matter, and the Indian housing representative said that the FEMA trailers really weren't available, that FEMA wasn't ready to let go of those yet. So it was kind of when FEMA addressed that, they said there may be trailers available. Would you be interested if they're available? Turns out they weren't available, or FEMA's not ready to let them go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paris. No other question for Mary? Mary, thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Cherokee Nation Enterprise, David Stewart. Welcome, David.
We continue to have great financial results, and I'm pleased it seems like every time I report we have a record, but our first quarter of this fiscal year set a record in the history of the company, as well as the month of December set a record for net income. So we're pleased with what we're doing and how our employees are doing it. They continue to provide great customer service to our guests, and we continue to strive to improve that. Our Native American employment remains strong at 73%, and we continue to implement policies and procedures that would increase that. Our employment is just a little over 3,000 employees at this point. Our cash position is strong as we go into the expansion, and there is an item on the agenda that would provide some debt for us to, in the short term, finish the projects. So I'd encourage your support of that. 3 or 4 months ago, in visiting with Tom Maxwell, who's here, he's the CEO of Flintco, our project won an award, and I'd like for Tom, if you would come down, and Joe, if you would stand up, he'd like to present that to us.
Maxwell.
I'll let him explain what the award is and what it's for.
Do I get to put it down?
You can set it right there.
Okay. This is an award that's an award from the Associated Builders and Contractors of the United States. It's there's projects that get recognized on a state basis, and to win one of these, you begin on the state basis. There's like 300 projects that are considered on the state basis. You win the state, and it's entered nationally in that organization. And I'm pleased to say that our casino and hotel in Catoosa was a winner of the National ABC Award. It's an award for excellence in construction is what it's called, and you look at what those items are that make that up. Not only is it quality, but it's design and how it fits the situation and what kind of cooperation you had of a complete construction team in putting this project together and on a successful basis. So it was our pleasure to be a part of this project, and it's my pleasure to present this go to you and David.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's get out there and look at it.
Want me to hold that up
Yes,
again?
hold that up. Show it to the council first of all. There you go. All right. Thank you. And that concludes my report.
Mr. Thornton has a question.
Okay, here, I'll let you take that. Yes, Mr. Thornton.
Dave, what I was wanting to know is, at the Travel Plaza at Roland, the contractor, is it still the same contractor?
Yes. It's still the same contractor, and we're working on taking that over. As you probably know, we've had some problems with that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the process of taking that over and giving the balance of that work to Flintco, so we're right in the middle of that process.
Thank you.
David, at our last committee meeting, you talked about there being 3 people in contention for the electric contract on West Siloam.
Yes.
Has there been a decision made on that?
There has not been a decision, but we have determined that GRDA is not legally allowed to provide a service. So now it is between the co-op and Siloam Springs, the city of Siloam. Siloam is providing us water, and so we will receive proposals from each of those entities, and then we will review those for a decision.
Thank you. Any other questions, Mr. Saying none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Cherokee Nation Industries, Brian Collins. Welcome, Brian.
Welcome. Good evening. Just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate the opportunity to come up here and keep giving you some good news of the things that are going on at CNI. And there is a lot of activity going on in the outsourcing of organized wiring harnesses, which creates jobs. And we have engaged another training session of about 30 additional people as well. And the opportunities are growing for us. Some of the things we're working on, engineering, trying to establish recruiting of engineering, additional talent in the specified skills. And because there's a lot of opportunity for growth in our business segment, the aerospace and defense. We have a lot of good things going on. So my overview covers the key financial and operational results for Cherokee Nation Industries and all its affiliates. Fiscal year to date, as of January 31st, total sales $57 million, which is 12% greater than the comparative fiscal year 2006 timeframe. Overall estimated profitability of $1.4 million. The local employment in Tahlequah and Stillwell area, 262, of which 236 are Native American at 90%. Our next board meeting will be March 26th at 3 o'clock at the Tahlequah Telecom Facility at 203 East Choctaw. We've done a lot of renovation of the Tahlequah facility. I'm not sure if anybody's driven by and seen the new signs, the painting, the facelift. We've done some renovation inside. Our customers, we actually have a facility now that we are proud to bring our customer into, and we are seeing a major change in that. Telecom business was a little bit slow the last couple months And basically because AT&T had kind of run out of their money within their budget. But that has taken off and re-energized this quarter. Telecom has experienced great revenues. They've doubled their sales in January of what they did in December. So there's a lot of exciting things going on because of AT&T's footprint changed for us and added a lot more states for their coverage of opportunities for sales. This concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Mr. Bill Baker.
Yeah, Brian, I know you mentioned it in the last committee meeting, and could you explain to us the $5 million write-off that the auditors had you all take?
The $5 million write-off is a breakdown of our investment in the GEG stock. It was also partly in the investment in the idling solutions, the write-down, and then inventories, excess or surplus inventories that's been slow-moving or obsolete on the shelf for more than, I want to say, about a 2-year period.
But the majority of it was GEG and or idling solutions.
The GEG investment, the write-down, is approximately $3.6 million.
At this time?
At this time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Mr. Collins? Seeing none. Brian, thank you very much.
Okay.
Cherokee Nation Business, it's Kelly Ketcher. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. Good evening, Council. I want to give you an update on Cherokee Connects. As you know, we've been working on negotiating a restructure of our relationship for several months. We entered into an agreement last Friday where C&B will no longer have an ownership interest in Connects. We have written commitments from the partners to complete the Veneta project, which is important to us. C&B will retain the USDA grants, which we are planning to work with the nation's IT department to implement those. Our focus when we entered into this partnership with Cherokee Connects was to bring broadband to rural areas. Through the restructuring, we will receive $2 million from our partners, $3.2 million in grants, and achieve the goal of rural broadband for 5 additional communities in northeastern Oklahoma. On another note, our Cherokee Nation Services Group, which is an LLC we formed to file for 8A application. We received notice that we have our 8A certification. We will be marketing professional and other personnel services to the government under the SBA 8A program. This is something we've worked on internally to develop. We have our shared services group with C&B, and this gives us an opportunity to go out and solicit some federal government contracts to leverage for profit what we do internally for our sister companies. Our board meeting for March has not yet been scheduled. When it is, I will send a notice out to the council. That's my report. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Mr. Bill Baker.
Yes, Kelly, on the $2 million from the partners, are they going to pay us back the cash that we put into it, or are we going to get a note receivable over a period of time?
We are, right now there will be 2 payments. One is due early March. The second payment will be due no later than July 31st of this year.
Cash?
Cash.
Any other questions? Kelly, the Veneta project's important to me, too. So
I understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing no old business, we enter new business. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a rather lengthy agenda tonight, and with Ms. Fraley gone, some of the items were her responsibility, and so they've been split, graciously accepted between Mr. Joe Critton and Ms. Karen Watts. With that being said, we will start with new business item number 1. Melvina, do you have that?
Yes. This is a resolution
authorize the Department of Children, Youth, and Family Services to submit applications for transitional living services for youth, the U.S. Family Youth Service Bureau, and it is in the amount of $150,000, and there is a maximum requirement of 10%, which is proposed in kind in the application. So I'll put that as long as second.
We have a motion, we have several seconds. Pick one out. Any questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Resolution stands approved. New business 2, an act relating to. Mr. Baker, do you have this?
Yes, this will be related to the comprehensive budget. Although it amounts to $5,371,774, it is really reallocations from the indirect cost pool. It's related to shifting of unallowable costs to the general fund. It's motor fuel tax related carryover and adjustments to prior year revenue apportionments. It is in the health department. It's No Water Muskogee Clinic, some equipment funding. There's from the HOSDA, it's related to minor carryover adjustments to prior year ending housing plans. And then the biggest item will be related to carryover from Sequoia Gym and accounting for the bond issuance costs and equipment transfers from Muskogee, No Water, and Salisal Clinic projects to the tune of $5 million of that, or $5.8 million. But it's housekeeping, so I put it in the form of a motion.
Okay, we do have a motion. We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing no opposed, it will be by acclamation. New business 3. Ms. Larry.
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing certain lending transaction involving Cherokee Nation Enterprises, a Cherokee Nation tribal limited liability company, and authorizing a limited waiver of sovereign immunity. Put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
No.
We have one opposed. Motion to approve passes. New business 4, Councilman Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation Office of the Environmental Program to submit a formal grant application to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for training, research, technical assistance related to methamphetamine and contaminated brownfield site in Indian Country grant. This is for $300,000. There is no match, and I will move for approval.
Second. Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Resolution stands approved. Business 5, a resolution by Mr. Martin.
A resolution authorizing the Environmental Program Group to submit an application to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for Community Air Toxic Pollution Study. And it's a $200,000 deal, and there is no match, and I will move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Resolution is approved. Item 6 will be presented by Mr. Crittenden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is an act. The purpose of the act is to establish staggered terms for tribal council seats. We arrived at that by a 6-4 spread, and we even had Councilman Garvin was very instrumental in coming up with how we started off with that. And with that, I would put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? Yes, Mr. Baker.
Yes, this puts the next election, some people are running for the tribal council for 4-year terms and some for 6-year terms. And I think that running for tribal council, everybody should be on the same playing field. And for this reason, I'm going to oppose this because I think that the flip of the coin should be after the election and not at this time. Thanks, Mr. Speaker.
I believe I see a division, so roll call, please.
Bill Angel. Bill John Baker.
Yes.
Jack Baker.
No.
Audra Connor.
Yes.
Joe Crittenden.
Yes.
Meredith Fraley. Don Garvin.
Yes.
Chuck Hoskin.
Yes.
Bill Johnson.
Yes.
Taylor Keane.
Yes.
Johnny Keener.
Yes.
Jackie Bob Martin.
Yes.
Linda O'Leary.
Yes.
Nevada Shophouse.
No.
David Thornton.
Yes.
Carol Count Watts.
No.
Phyllis Sherman.
Yes.
13 yea, 3 nay.
13 yea, 3 nay, the act passes. New business 7, Ms. Cowan Watts.
This is for the nomination of Mr. Bill Grass as a board member of CNI or Cherokee Nation Industries. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? Mr. Bill Baker.
Yeah, I know Bill Grass. I like him, but I, at this time, cannot vote to approve any board member on CNI that has not tried to get the $6.5 million back.
Mr. Thornton.
I also know Mr. Grass. I've known him over the years. I know he's a good pot maker, and I know he's a good businessman. But what we're doing is putting him on the Cherokee Nation Industries Board, and down here about 4 more sections, we're putting him on the Cherokee Nation Business Board. And I don't feel that someone should be serving on one board where they're asking for revenue from another board, and they serve on that board also. And that's the way I feel about it, and I can't vote for this. Thank you.
Questions, comments?
As an ex officio officer on the CNI board, I've turned over the packet regarding the GEG situation to the board. As of this date, there's been no action taken, so I can't support any of the board members up for nomination for the CNI board. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, I do sense division, so at this time, roll call, please.
Joe Crittenden.
No.
Meredith Fraley. Don Garvin.
Yes.
Chuck Hoskin.
No.
Bill Johnson.
Yes.
Taylor Keane.
Yes.
John Keener.
No.
Jack Bob Martin.
Yes.
Linda O'Leary.
No.
Nevada Shophouse.
No.
David Thornton.
No.
Carol Count Watts.
Yes.
Phyllis Sherman.
Yes.
Bill Angel.
Yes.
Bill John Baker.
No?
Jack Baker.
Yes.
Audra Connor.
Yes.
Seven nay.
Okay, by a vote of 9 to 7, Mr. Glass is confirmed as a board member on Cherokee Nation Industries. New business 8, a resolution by Mr. Crittenden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The chief has nominated Jim Carson. Says he's duly qualified to serve as a member of the board of directors for a term that expires September 30, 2010. And this is CNI board, and I would move for approval.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second. Any questions, comments?
Same comment.
And I reiterate, Mr. Chairman, same comment.
Yes, still there. Any other comments, questions? Clear division, roll call, please.
Jackie Bob Martin. Linda O'Leary.
No.
Nevada Shophouse.
No.
David Thornton.
No.
Carol Count Watts.
Yes.
Phyllis Sherman.
Yes.
Bill England.
Yes.
Bill John Baker.
No?
Jack Baker.
Yes.
Audra Connor.
Yes.
Joe Crittenden.
Yes.
Meredith Fraley. Don Garvin.
Yes.
Chuck Hoskin.
No.
Bill Johnson.
Yes.
Taylor Keane.
No.
Johnny Keenan.
No.
9 yea, 7 nay.
By a vote of 9 to 7, Mr. Carson is confirmed. New business 9, Mr. Crittenden.
Yes, this is also a resolution confirming.
Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Because I would not want a citizen to go through this, but I don't believe we've counted correctly. He and the math teacher counted, so I'm not sure.
Have Gil England, yay. Jack Baker, yay. Audra Connor, yay. Joe Crittenden, yay. Don Garvin, yay. Bill Johnson, yay.
My mistake, because Taylor and Joe.
Okay, your point of order is dismissed.
Thank you.
Yes. Number 9.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a resolution confirming the nomination of Dennis Dowell as a board member of Cherokee Nation Businesses, LLC. I would move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
We have one opposed. Resolution number 9 passes. New business 10, Mr. Crittenden.
This is confirming, the resolution confirming the nomination of B.J. Drummond as a board member of Cherokee Nation Businesses, LLC.
They should be CNE.
They should be C&E, I'm told. Somebody misprint.
Point of order.
Excuse me.
Okay, we have a point of order, Mr. Baker.
Yes, these were nominations to CNE's board rather than Cherokee Nation Businesses. That would be Dennis Dow, Mr. DeMond, and now William Grass is for CNB. So it would be those two that need to be corrected.
Okay, the secretary tells me the actual legislation is correct, and it does show Cherokee Nation Enterprises, so
Okay.
we will continue with
Okay.
that item.
Having cleared that up, Mr. Speaker, I would move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Mr. Dumond. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item number 10 is approved. Item 11, Mr. Crittenden again.
Okay. This is a resolution also confirming the nomination of William Grass as a board member of Cherokee Nation Businesses, LLC. And I would move for approval.
Second. We have a motion to approve and a second. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Bill John Baker,
No.
Jack Baker,
Yes.
Audra Connor,
Yes.
Joe Crittenden,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley, Don Garvin,
Yes.
Chuck Hoskins,
No.
Bill Johnson,
Yes.
Taylor King,
Yes.
John Keener,
No.
Jacob Bob Martin, Linda O'Leary,
No.
Melvin Shophouse, David Thornton,
No.
Carol Callen Watts,
Yes.
Kelly Shargy,
Yes.
Gil England.
Yes.
10 yea, 6 nay.
By a vote of 10-4, 1 against, 6 against, Mr. Grass is confirmed. New business 12, Mr. Crittenden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a legislative act amending LA 0101, the Cherokee Nation Motor Vehicle Licensing and Tax Code. The purpose of the act is to amend this legislation, Cherokee Nation Motor Vehicle Licensing and Tax Code, to amend a definition to provide for registration for active military personnel, college students temporarily away but having permanent addresses within 14 counties. I believe I'm right on that. I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, will be by acclamation. It is an act. Number 13, Ms. Cowan Watts.
This is a legislative act amending and adding sections to the Crimes and Punishment Code. The purpose of the legislative act is to define the contempt of court, establish when a jury trial for contempt is required or not required, or when a party bringing a contempt action must be in court for the initial hearing, and to establish requirements for purging a contempt charge for violation of a child support order. And I'd like to move for approval.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, it will be by acclamation. It is an act. New business 14, Ms. Cowan Watts.
Thank you. The legislative act adding adding provisions for garnishment under the civil procedure. So the purpose of the legislative act is to prescribe procedures by which parties owed a judgment debt or child support obligation arrearage will be able to collect monies owed. I move for approval.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, it will be by acclamation. It is an act. New business item 15, Ms. Cowan Watts.
Thank you. A resolution authorizing a limited waiver of sovereign immunity for Will Rogers Downs. We've done this once, but however, due to the Oklahoma Horse Racing Commission's conditional license and the idea that we've now included Cherokee Nation Businesses LLC and changed C&E to C&E LLC, we've had to therefore change the contract. So I'd like to move for approval.
Second. I have a motion to approve and a second. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. It is a division. Roll call.
Phyllis Georgie,
Yes.
Kara Cowan Watts,
Yes.
David Thornton,
No.
Nevada Shophouse,
No.
Linda O'Leary,
No.
Jacob Bob Martin, John Keenan,
No.
Taylor King,
No.
Bill Johnson,
Yes.
Chuck Hoskin,
Yes.
Don Garvin,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley, Joe Crittenden,
No.
Audra Connor,
Yes.
Jack Baker,
Yes.
Bill John Baker,
Yes.
York England.
Yes.
10 yea, 6 nay.
The resolution is approved 10-6. New business 16, Ms. Cowan Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a legislative act amending jurisdiction under courts and procedures. So the purpose of this legislative act is to define the Cherokee Nation District Court's jurisdiction over child support enforcement and to make technical changes to the language which currently exists in the section 24 for those that are highly interested. So I'd like to make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve in a second. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, it will be by acclamation. It is an act. New business 17, Ms. Cowan Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This resolution approves a recommendation by our Attorney General, Minister of the Cherokee Nation, to finalize additional fees for the Arkansas Riverbed settlement. This would be an additional $200,000 to the Patton Boggs law firm. And again, this is concerning the Arkansas Riverbed litigation. This would then make their total $351,000 and make that a final settlement for those legal fees, closing that door for the Cherokee Nation. And I'd like to move for approval.
Second. Motion to approve in a second. Any questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Have one in opposition. Is that all? Item 17, the resolution stands approved. Item 18, Mr. Crittenden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This resolution authorizes the submission of juvenile accountability discretionary grant application, and which would extend the court in DeMays and Sequoia counties, and I would move for approval.
Second. A motion to approve in a second. Any questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Item 18 is approved. Resolution number 19, Mr. Crittenden. I believe this is the last one, too. Well, no, last one for him.
This is to seek planning funding in the form of grants to establish services to healing and wellness court, truancy and at-risk youth. It's a $400,000, no cash match, and I move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion to approve. We have a second. Any questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Resolution 19 is approved. Now, item 20. Ms. Sharji, do you want to present that?
This is a resolution authorizing the submission of a proposal to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Native Americans to establish an archive and research library for the time-sensitive resolution, we need it before the March council meeting, so I asked to put on the agenda and move for its approval.
We do have a motion, we do have a second, and I would just like to say, Phyllis, I appreciate you getting this to us as quickly as you did, because I've had it in my hands for a while. So the motion, second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Resolution number 20 stands approved. We're down to announcements. Do you have announcements to make? Yes, Mr. Thornton.
I have a couple in the audience. It's from Story County, and Michael Collins, Mr. McConnell's here to stand up for it. Stand up for it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've got a couple of folks, maybe more than that, from Adair County. I got the mayor of Westville up there, Brian Sisler, and I got John Hembry up there with him. Would you guys stand up? Also, there's Bobby Leach up there. Where's he? Okay.
Any other announcements? Well, since I have this gavel, because our jobs take us in different directions many times, often my wife and I cannot share times like council meetings together, and this is one of those fortunate evenings for me, and I need to say that since Valentine's Day here. No, but I truly do mean it, and I'd like you to recognize my wife, Stephanie. All right, no more announcements? I will entertain that if... Oh, go ahead. Certainly. Any other announcements? We have a motion to adjourn. We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, you better go home. Stand adjourned.
You're doing good.